We are live.
Raven, the GS, Joe, one third of the cyber. Sam, the legend behind the techie.
We are live, guys. I'm Joe, one third of the cyber nerds.
And I'm Raven, the GS.
I'm Sam, Mr. Blitz Tech.
And this is Into the Spider-Verse movie review. Guest! Bro, I'm so happy. And we going early. Early. In the early, fam. Madness. Where do I start? Someone help me out, man.
You start with the title of the movie, you've done that.
Yes.
Then you go into the genre.
So that's sci-fi, fantasy
slash
animation, a new type of animation. I think there needs to be a new word for that animation, innit? It needs to be a new animation, like new word for it. It can't just be animation.
No.
Can it just be animation? I don't think it can be just animation.
I'm fine with it being called animation. Animation comes in many forms, fashions, and styles. This is just.
It's based 2018, innit? Like people are making up words, so we might as well make up new things.
I'm not going to take part in this making up words thing.
All right, so we're going to synopsis, yeah. No, we go into.
Look, listen. The director's next. Director, then cast.
Yes. Alright, so movie is directed by Bob. Someone help me out with that name. Periechetti.
Close enough.
Produced by Avi Rad. The cast starring it's Peak. So someone else help me out with that.
Shemek, more?
Yeah, Haley Steinfeld. Mashallah Ali, Liev Schreiber, Brian Tyree, Henry, Luna, Lauren Velez, and Lily Tomlin.
Don't forget Jake Johnson.
Oh, there you go. Thank you very much for that. This movie is yet to be released, December 14th, 2018. What's the date today?
I believe it's the 7th.
The 7th, so we're like a week ahead.
Ooh.
Like we're in the future, like we always are, innit? Martin. And the synopsis is: bitten by a radioactive spider in the subway, Brooklyn teenage Miles Morales suddenly, you gotta get the accent in there, suddenly develops mysterious powers that transforms him into one and only Spider-Man. When he meets Peter Parker, he suddenly realizes that there are many others who share the special high-flying talents. Miles must now use his newfound skills to battle Kingpin and the hulking madman who can open portals to other dimensions. And here comes the other spider. Nice. Woo! So, story. Who wants to start? I'm not even gonna pick. Who wants to start?
I'm diving on it.
You're diving in.
I'm diving on it because I think the story's lit. Yeah, 5 out of 5. And what really annoys me is that not about the movie. The story's 5 out of 5.
Right.
Is that in animated movies, filmmakers are so quick to give you that they're in animated movies they'll do anything. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh look, first movie, we're going into multiple universes, boom, 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 and that stuff is I love it, yeah. But I don't understand why they won't just do it in a live action movie. They think audiences won't get it and stuff like that. So I love that this movie takes something complex and just plays with it as it's complex. Like they don't try and dumb it down. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a couple lines, they explain what's going on, and you just go from there, fam.
Mr. Ballistic.
Story is actually really deep. You get not only Miles Morales, but every other Spider-Man from their own Spider-Verse. And even the subplots as well. So you got Kingpin, the reasons why he's got this machine going on, and what going on in Miles as well. So like you're saying, even though it's quite simple, it's also quite complex at the same time. And yeah, this movie is super deep, isn't it? Like super deep.
Right. This story, I mean, like you've mentioned, they're very playful. Loved the way they've introduced, and I feel that this is a really nice way to introduce other spiders that people might not be familiar with. I mean, there's loads of people out there who don't know who Miles Morales is. There's loads of people out there who don't know there's a Gwen, a Spider-Woman out there. I didn't know there was a Spider-Ham until a few months ago. Like, so...
Disrespect, you know.
All right, so This story, I love how all the webs come together and they just introduce these characters through this lovely story, which I'm pretty sure is just a mix of stories put together. So
I want to jump back on the story. Like, this story is very intricate. It's very deep. It takes 5 character stories, 6. You know, it takes about 8 character stories. Do you know what I'm saying? Like 5 of them being spider people and other characters in the movie as well. Weaves them together so seamlessly as well. Like, that's one thing that I can't let go by. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
How they weave everyone's story into one. You feel emotions about every single character, good or bad or indifferent. You like all of them. Do you know what I'm saying? And I love that about this. Do you know what I'm saying? I love it.
Yeah, and it's also again with the Spider-Man, you have you have that funny feel. Is you have the emotions that comes with it. It's funny. There's deep parts into it that is like, oh my god, like they really did that. So no strings were held back. No strings were held back. They went in, and oh my goodness, this is a beautiful story, and everybody should be watching it. So on to acting, Mr. Ballistic.
Acting wise, across the board, everyone done a fantastic job. Voice acting. When it comes to each and every character, you could just kind of tell everyone was just an individual in it. You kind of tell that obviously Peter Parker has been a Joker that he is. Martin Rice is kind of like borderline as a kid, but he's a Joker, but still finding his way. But then, like, for me, Nicolas Cage, obviously you don't hear about him too much. With him being like Spider Noir, every time he just like, obviously he's from a different dimension, obviously. But his dimension's like, this is very bleak, dark. He's fighting off Nazis and stuff. But he's just a Joker, like, all the time. And every time he had like a line, it always hit. It was always funny. That's what I kind of liked about it. So, yeah, I like every single character. Like, I can't complain about anyone.
All right, cool. I'll jump on to the next one. Yes, like you mentioned, with every dimension, everyone has their own specific way, but you still always have that Spider-Man feel, which was super cool. And the way it just bounced from one dimension to the other. And I'm a keep each Spider-Man as a dimension. I'm gonna mention as each dimension because that's who they were. They were representing where they were from. Like you mentioned, Spider Noir. Like you can tell he's like way old. Like the fashion where he's coming from, the tone of the language, completely different. Then you jump onto Spider-Ham, like straight up Looney Tune-ish. You know what I mean? So Miles Morales, he's where he's from. Being in that Latin mixed environment, you get a bit of everything. So it's very hard to talk about acting while this is more of voice. So I was really happy that they got that out there with the sound of it.
For me personally, I feel like the duo of Shamik Moore and Jake Johnson really like stuck this whole movie together me when I'm talking about voice acting, because obviously you got the young kid who's looking for a mentor, who finds a mentor, and then finds another mentor. This is not a spoiler review. And then finds another mentor. Do you know what I'm saying? And well, you find a kid looking for a mentor. Do you know what I'm saying? And he finds him, and it's not the mentor that he needs, but it's the mentor that he's got. So like, just that balance in them two. Do you know what I'm saying? I really liked. I think Shamik Moore brings that youthfulness, playfulness, but also a vulnerability to Miles that kids or young adults are feeling around that age. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was confident, but at the same time, like, he was unsure of himself. Do you know? And I feel like you really felt that through the voice acting. So I feel like Shamik Moore would stand out for me, and Jake Johnson, I felt like played a really great role as Peter Parker.
All right, cool. So on to the next, if you can just
Production.
I'm not gonna start this.
No,
I'm overwhelmed.
production wise, off the chart. I ain't seen an animation like this in never. Like, when they're focusing on something, if you notice that most of the other things will just become blurred. And I thought that was like a 3D effect, but that stuff was actually done on purpose. So if something was in the background, everything around it would just be having this like double edged kind of image. And when they changed the focus, you could just see it subtly change at the same time. And that kind of stuff just throughout the whole movie, like just those subtle things made the movie just completely something else. Even like I said, every single individual Spider-Man had their own individual, Spider-People had their own individual kind of flavor. So obviously you had Peter Parker and Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy, or Spider-Gwen, Spider-Woman. They were kind of like, I'll say, in the main universes. So they were kind of like natural, like they came with the animation kind of properly. But then you had Penny Parker and Spider-Ham, where like you're saying, one was like anime and one was like Looney Tunes. So even then, they all came to the same kind of world. It that was so seamless that they never felt out of place. And the fight scenes, wow, fight scenes! I just love really good choreographed, like intricate fighting stuff, and then for an animation, they blew out the water. Everything, all the action scenes, marvelous. I loved it.
Yeah, for me, like, it was amazing, innit? And I think just the production, just the whole thing as a whole, it was great to see like a new kind of style, or not even a new, but a different style of animation be used so seamlessly and so correct for the movie that it's in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that, the animation style is perfect for the story that they're telling. Also, I think one thing for me that is amazing for this as well is this is legitly a comic book in a movie. Do you know what I'm saying? This is it. Like when you talk about digital comics and stuff like that, this is it. This is actually, to me, like a digital comic, because scene for scene, panel for panel is what you get in a comic book. The things you're talking about, these different art styles merging into one, that's a comic book, and that's what you get. And they even do it in a movie with, you know, the speech bubbles when he's thinking, and they say it out loud. The talking, like the different panels for what's going on, and they don't overdo it. And that's one of the things that I love as well, because sometimes in the comic books you'll have a panel where they're talking, but the speech boxes will be outside of the panel. And sometimes in a movie they're talking, there's no speech bubbles, but there's other times where there is, where it's necessary. And it's like that there just lets you know like the level of creativity, the level of thinking that they've put into each scene and each palette. So I feel like this takes the whole like comic book genre, the animated comic book genre, to a next level. And I feel like others need to like step it up, because Spider-Verse it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing.
You pretty much touched everything when it came to the visual side of it. So I believe the only thing else to talk about is the sounds. Okay, there's I mean, straight from the beginning, this is Miles Morales' world, right? You know, is mixed African American with Latin, and it's got that vibe to it. You know, that new culture, that new, you know, the new kids on the block kind of scene. So music, bang. I mean, they had old hip hop with their own mix to it. Then they had like mumble rap to it. Like it just went with it. And then one thing that is not, and it wasn't just the fact that they was just putting these bangers out there, is the way they were peppering up. Like Miles' headphones, like you can hear that you know, the sound coming through it, you know, like you're proper in the studio. And then there's ways, I love the way they just, for example, if Miles singing it, Miles not singing the whole song. It's just like your normal person, like, you know, majority of times you don't know the lyrics. Definitely. And then it's like, and then you hear him mumbling, and then even the mumbling goes with it, and you can hear like the sound of it. So really, really great with the sounding. There is one bit, oh my goodness, it felt like I was like in a Superman movie. Like they really brought the orchestra out in this movie. Like I have never seen an animated movie where there's an orchestra in it, bro. Like that I was like, whoa, wait a minute. It's unbelievable. So from visuals to sound, everything was peppered up to a new level, a new dimension, which is, you know, what this movie is about. So I couldn't be more pleased with the sound, with the visuals. The animated part of it is the details, the depth they've gone into it. I mean, you was talking about the focus, on focus, not focus of the camera, and you can see the ridges. There's certain parts with lines. They've got masks on. You can still see the face expressions with it. Amazing. The 3D effect to it, but it's not 3D, but it's still 3D effect with the whole dimension flex to it. It's just mind blowing. Fighting scenes. Oh, I get speechless because I'm watching scenes and all I can hear myself and everybody else react. You know, it's such a great feeling, and I don't think anyone would be able to do this besides Spider-Man. If anyone was to bring a new color, a new type of art to animation movie, it only makes sense if you were Spider-Man. So hats off to the team across, from sound to visual, to the animators, to the 3D modelers. You guys have moved up to my number one. You've knocked off wherever I had in first place. Woo! Moving on to our final thoughts. Joe.
My final thoughts is it's the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen. It's a must-watch. I'm done.
It's a beautiful masterpiece. If you love Spider-Man, go see it. If you love animation, go see it. If you love anything in the cinema, go see it.
This is a must-watch. That's it. That is it. Now, moving on to our official rating. And if you haven't gathered by now, by what has been said, this movie is a straight up broken sofa. As a matter of fact, I think this is 2 broken sofas if we could afford an extra sofa. But right now, as you can see, we can only afford one, which is dying slowly. But this is a 5 out of 5 broken sofa from the Cybernerds. Now, it might take you a while to go and watch this movie, but once you do, or if you was able to watch this movie early like we did, jump in the section below and let us know what your thoughts on this movie is. Do you know are you into the Spider-Verse? Are you into Spider-Man? Are you into Spider-Woman? Are you into animation? If you're not, after watching this, are you a fan? I'm overwhelmed here and I don't even know what to say.
There's a post-credit scene, so make sure you hang around to the end of the movie. Make sure. Also, let us know in the comment section below who is your favourite Spider person. I'm Joe, 1/3 of the Cybernerds.
And I'm Miles Morales.
I'm Sam, Mr. Blitz Tech.
I'll see you next movie review. Peace.
Hey guys, it's me, Joe, 1/3 of the Cybernerds. Appreciate you watching the last video. Check another one out here, or just go ahead and sign up to Patreon right now. Just do that thing. Anyway, catch you on the next video. Peace.